This is the pits. Choosing to go camping in the rain is one thing, but being stuck camping in the rain is another thing. And now for the part where hopefully I don't blow everything up. Hi everyone! Indi and I are alongside the Ahuriri River in the Ahuriri Valley, which is in the South Island of New Zealand. This is our third night here. We've had 2 adventurous trips up into the mountains and we are exhausted. This girl just keeps falling asleep. Although she wants her dinner now, which is why she's nagging me. Isn't that right?
Did you want your dinner?
It's 4:30. It is not her dinner time. Her dinner time is 5:30. Stop asking for dinner. If she eats early, then she's going to be super hungry later. We really need a relaxing camp tonight. There's a bit of rain coming through and it's definitely going to be raining hard tomorrow. So I thought we would just set up alongside the river and take in this beautiful view. The only problem is we have strong winds. And this DOD base tent is terrible in high winds. But it's what I have with me, so I'm going to have to make the most of it. I've set it up like I have because I want to be... Stop it! I'll give you your dinner soon. I want to be able to back the car in under one side. With the wind coming from this direction, it's hitting this huge face at the back of the tent. I'm going to put it down and switch it around the other way. Hopefully that will reduce some of that pressure that we're getting on the tent and the wind can whip up and over the top. After 2 nights and 3 days in the mountains, my car's looking a bit chaotic. So the first thing I'm going to do is get everything sorted out. Get a bed made up in the back there because I know Indy's going to want to go to sleep pretty early tonight. She is absolutely exhausted. I'll take you for a look around in a minute and show you the area. But we've been up one of the valleys right up to the top of the mountains. And on the walk back, every time I stopped to have a look at the view or to film something, Indy lay down and put her head down to go to sleep. So that's the reason why we're not going out up into the hills for this 3rd night. I think we need to treat ourselves to a car camp. This girl needs her rest and so does this one. Do you think I could have my arm twisted into giving you an early dinner? The drool! No, the drool! Come out over here.
4 days worth of hiking and camping gears all sorted. A little someone is cozying up in the car. Do you think we should go for a walk though, pup, and show these guys around? Should we go down to the river? Should we go to the river? Not sure, she says. We've done a lot of walking. Should we go to the river? Come on. There's just one thing I need for the road. Spiced rum and Coke. I packed all of this stuff days ago and I know what my treats are for each night, and I have been looking forward to this one. Well, cheers! The rum and Coke is nearly finished. But thanks for coming on this trip with us. It's nice to be doing something low-key. We've had 2 beautiful days of weather. If you saw the last 2 videos I did, one up that way and the other up that valley up there, then you'll know that we've had 2 incredibly beautiful, sunny, cracking gorgeous days. With the clouds moving in, some light rain is starting to fall, and by tomorrow the rain will set in. It's supposed to be heavy in the afternoon, and I'm not sure if I'm going to stay put where I am or whether we might go adventuring further down the valley and see what else we can find. But for now, I'm just enjoying hanging out and just soaking in nature. This is so beautiful. I love being surrounded by the mountains. And if there's a river as well, it's an absolute bonus. Hey! I think you were just pretending to have energy. I think you're still tired. Should we go back, pups? Come on. But it isn't yet. I'll just bring the camera in because I don't want it to fall over. I think what I'm going to do with all of my stuff, see if I can put it in the car, because if the shelter comes down in the night, it would be nice that my stuff doesn't get wet. I'm going to finish my dinner and then get ready for bed. Good morning. What a wet and wild morning. I've put you onto the wireless microphone so I don't have to yell, and so that you don't have quite so much of the rain noise. It's so nice listening to the rain thundering down on the tent or on the car roof, but it can get really loud. Indi and I slept until 8:15 this morning. We both really needed our sleep after the last couple of days of activity, and it was so nice. I was lying there listening to the rain, super comfortable, super cozy. Indi was snoring and snuffling, and then I started to hear drip, 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 drip. And it turns out, I think it's the seal around the top of my windscreen is leaking. And in the footwell of my car, a puddle of water was beginning to emerge. So I put my pot there to collect it. First of all, I jammed a towel into the gap between the door and the dashboard. And that was soaking the water up because it was leaking and coming down through the grab rail in the passenger side door, and it was dripping down from there. So I put the towel there, and the towel completely soaked through and then dripped down into the pot by the time I got up this morning. So I couldn't lie in bed any longer, I had to go and deal with that. And that's the reason why I've moved the car around here and rigged up that rain tarp over the doors and over the front windscreen. The rain is so hard and it's still windy, so it's pushing in here, but we've got ourselves a nice cozy spot, and I'm going to give Indi some breakfast, make some coffee, and then pancakes. I thought, seeing as I'm just chilling around camp today, pancakes would be the perfect breakfast. It is, however, 11:30. All of my shenanigans this morning took quite a while, so this is going to be more like brunch. And I have decided that I'm going to spend another night here. This is going to be a 2-night camp. The reason for that is that the rain is so much heavier than what was forecast, and packing up in the rain and then moving to another location to set up in the rain, it's just madness. So 2 nights I can relax, chill out, enjoy myself. Right, Indi, let's check this audio's working and then make some pancakes. Do you want some breakfast, baby? Sorry that it's so late. Yes. Some water. This is the problem with camping, isn't it? You sit down and then you've got to go and find something. I have left my lighter somewhere. Where is it? There it is. What a difference. What a difference today compared to the last 2 days. I love camping in the rain, and so lots of my videos are of me camping in the rain. Ooh. People will often say, does it always rain in New Zealand? And it definitely does not always rain in New Zealand. The last 2 days, those last 2 trips I went on, are a classic example of some of our weather. But our weather changes, and so we regularly have low pressure systems or fronts coming through. So this is a classic example. You'll have a couple of nice days, or actually probably a week of nice weather, and then it will suddenly change and you'll get a couple of days of rain, and then it will go back to being nice again. These could be for you. Thank you so much to our Buy Me a Coffee members and donors who donate money to buy treats for Indi and I. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Especially at the moment with how expensive everything is. The Buy Me a Coffee donations, they fund our ability to come out and do these camps. So thank you very, very much. And here's a little treat for Indi from you guys. Here you go, bub. Want it? Her. I worked out the trick to the pancakes, which is don't make them too big. And then I can get up and under them easily. Hi, Indi. I think the rain is easing off. I'm going to finish my breakfast and then open up the front of the shelter and have a look at the view. I'm hoping it might have cleared enough that we can see a little way up the mountains. bit of water coming down off the hills. The good news though is that the updated forecast is for the rain to be heaviest around now, and I think it's probably come through early because I think it was heavier earlier on. And then around about 7 p.m. tonight it's going to stop raining. And it's not supposed to start raining again until 7 a.m. I'm going to go back to the car and just relax. It's roughly 3 p.m. so we've got a few more hours until dinner time. I'm going to relax, maybe get my footage sorted out, ready to start editing that first video for you guys. Have a few cups of tea and then we'll catch up closer to dinner time. Indy, who didn't want to come out in the rain, is down there having a wonderful time exploring. Lucky I brought 4 towels with me. What has happened here? Looks like you've forgotten where your bed is. Oh, on your bed, darling. On your bed. Yeah, I've got a nice blanket for you. On your bed. Puppy, on your bed. On your bed. Lay down. Oh, no. On your bed. On your bed. Good girl. Nice woolen blanket. It'll keep you warm. Yeah, it'll keep you warm. I'm going to make a cup of tea. "48 hours ago when I was setting off on my trip up to Canyon Creek. It was a beautiful day. It was so warm. If you watch that video, you'll know that I was absolutely sweating. It was so warm, so bright, so sunny. If you haven't seen the video, you absolutely must watch that one. It was amazing. I'll link it at the end of this video. But in my intro, I talk about how it's so warm and sunny, and yet this area soon will be blanketed in snow. The snows will start to fall. And sure enough, 48 hours later, look up there. Up in that area that looks like it could be the gates of Mordor. There is snow up there. How cool. The weather has cleared slightly. I might just poke my head out and have a look around. Can you see all those little lines on the side of the mountain coming down into the valley? Those are all the rivers. So all those little waterfalls and streams that we crossed, they will be absolutely raging. Makes me wonder how those 3 guys are doing, the ones that were walking in yesterday. They would have had an incredibly windy and wet night up there. What a beautiful view up the valley of more rain on the way. I think while there's no rain, I'm going to open up the back of the car and I'm going to get everything ready for tonight. And did you want your dinner? Because I think actually it's quite late. Let me have a look. Ah, look at that. Like clockwork. So it's 5:30 and Indy's dinner is 5:30. Yes, okay, I'll get you some dinner. I'll give her dinner, get our bed all set up and ready, and get this area such that when it gets dark after I've cooked dinner, I can easily bring the shelter down, throw it into one of these plastic tubs and head off to bed, ready to disassemble the tarp in the morning and drive away. Okay. Oh, hello. You're on my seat again. Is that just so cosy? But look at your bed. That looks so nice too. You've got a down duvet there. You can stay there for now. You'll have to move when it's time for dinner. Is that just the coziest spot? I know it is. You're lucky, you're so cute. I can definitely see fresh snow on the mountains. Not down super low. I'll tell you how high these mountains are around us. So the ones I'm looking at that have got snow on them are really tall. 2,505 meters. There's Mount Huxley. I think I can see Mount Huxley. Actually, Mount Huxley is in cloud. It's the lower ones around there. They're all between 2,000 and 2005. Yeah, 2,000 to 2,500 meters above sea level are those mountains. And the one up here, that's got snow on it. What would that be? That is Mount St. Mary, which is 2,337 meters above sea level. So really, really high. Understandable that there'd be snow there. In comparison, what are we at? We're at about 750 meters above sea level here. Wow, so that's a huge difference, that climb up there. Yep, so 750 here, and where we climbed to yesterday, if you saw that video, up Canyon Creek and up onto the terrace below the lake, is 1,300 meters. Whew. So there won't be snow up where we were camping 2 nights ago. This recipe is quite strange. Normally with a curry I would put oil in a frying pan, add the curry paste and kind of fry that off, and then add the meat, the vegetables, cook that down a wee bit, and then add the coconut milk. But this one asked me to add the paste to boiling water. It's very runny. Not at all what I would normally do. That's okay, tastes amazing. So I'm just going to cook these chickpeas up until they soften off nicely. I've gone for vegetarian curry because, being my 4th night, I wasn't going to be able to keep meat refrigerated and safe for this long. This one is going to be very simple. Normally I would add vegetables and things, but as I always say, as everyone always says, there's just nothing like a camp meal. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just feels fancy when you're outdoors. Cheers everyone. It's actually really nice that the rain has eased off. It's really moody outside. I'll turn you around in a minute so you can have a look. It's beautiful looking out there. And this weather should stay like this overnight, with the rain starting up again at about 7. I'm tempted to take the tarp off my car, but I won't, because if it does start to rain again, I'm going to get that leak dripping back inside. I'm looking forward to getting on the road early tomorrow and taking you on a bit of a road trip. Just thinking about where we'll go. Let's have a look. Oh, Indy. Are those sandflies annoying you? There you go. There you go. Is that better? I know you want to be on here, don't you? You so desperately want to be on here. If I invited you, would you get on? Okay. Okay, see what you can do. Yep, see what you can do. There you go. Is that what you wanted? You're so funny. Okay, just for a laugh, I'll entertain this idea. It's not cold, but there's something about wrapping up on a rainy day, isn't there? Oh my gosh, can you believe it? These cords that are on here, by the way, this is actually a underquilt for going underneath a hammock, and so I'm reluctant to take them all off because I may not put them back on properly, but yeah, it goes underneath a hammock to keep you warm underneath. But it's the perfect size for Indy because it's not as bulky as a full sleeping bag. What I really want is I want to find on somewhere like Facebook Marketplace or Trade Me, I want to find someone's good quality down sleeping bag that's got a busted zip. Because what I want to do, I'm quite handy with the sewing machine and I want to make Indy her own small dog sleeping bag. I'll take the zip off and then I've already got a zip that's the right length, and then put a new zip in, but I don't seem to be able to find that. What I need actually is a P.O. box, hey? And then I can say to you guys, does anyone have an old sleeping bag they can send me? I know that somebody would probably say, oh, there's sleeping bags you can buy for dogs, or you know, quilts you can buy for dogs. But the thing is that, as my mum always said, money doesn't grow on trees. Yeah, there's so many things that I would like. Anyway, keep quiet, Kathy. Yeah, sigh. Talking too much, Indy, because I've been drinking wine. That is very nice, though. Old Coach Road. Pinot Noir. It's only a 2024. I never spend more than $20 on a bottle of wine. I'll happily accept a bottle of wine that's worth more than 24. Actually, I did buy a few bottles of wine that were $45. I went to Black Estate, which is in Waipara in North Canterbury. If you ever get the chance to go to Black Estate, it's a small winery and it's got the most amazing restaurant. They do a beautiful trust the chef meal. So if you ever go there, just pay the money, just go all out and do trust the chef. It was delicious. My husband took me there for my birthday last year. Oh no, that means this year, dun dun dun, is the big 5-0. You lose track, don't you? When you get past 11 3/4, you start to lose track. Yeah, I'll be 50 later this year. Honestly and truly, it's just a number though. I'm really, really loving life. And there's something to be said for having the confidence of maturity. Every single age and stage has its challenges, but I don't want to go back to being 20. I really don't. I was so insecure when I was 20. I even think back to when I was 39. I know that's crazy that it's that specific age, but I remember it because I went on an Outward Bound course. And when I look back, I just think, oh my gosh, I was so insecure. And one of the reasons that I went on that course was to learn more about myself and to explore like where my strength comes from. It was phenomenal. If you ever get the chance to go to Outward Bound, do it. It was such a wonderful experience. I mean, I'm already a person who's confident in the outdoors, but it really challenged me. There were people there that basically never go into the outdoors. And then there were people that have a lot of experience in the outdoors. And it wasn't so much the outdoor activities that were challenging. It was the being around people 24/7 for 3 weeks. 21 days was my course. And I had great people in my watch. That's what it's called, a watch. Had really good people in my watch, but all the same, I mean, you don't even spend, most of the time, don't even spend time with your partner 24/7 for 3 weeks. You know, you do have some time apart, but you're sleeping in the same area. Like at one stage we were sleeping on the cutter, which is this small boat that you can put a sail up, but you can also row it. There was 13 of us sleeping. We anchored and we were sleeping in the boat, and I'm pretty sure it started to rain. Oh my goodness, it was crazy. You're sleeping in the bottom of a rowboat. Anyway, I don't want to put you off. It was actually amazing. I came back from that. I was like the most buffed I have ever been. Like, I rowed a boat for about 3 days. Did these massive long days of hiking, kayaking. It was amazing. Like, seriously, people pay a lot of money to lose weight. You just have to go to Outward Bound. Not only will you lose weight, you will also be very toned. It was quite a challenge being around people all that time, and I just look back at some of the things I did and said, and I just think, oh my gosh, I was so insecure. So insecure. That was 10 years ago. I've come a long way in the last 10 years. Anyway, I reckon it's great getting older. I'm so proud to be 49. So proud to be 49. Bring it on. I feel like it's almost like the start of my life. Bring it on. I just have to make sure that I maintain my health and well-being as long as possible. I think that's going to be the key. I think a lot about gratitude when I'm out in the mountains. Gosh, it actually makes me quite emotional. I think because I've been drinking red wine and talking about emotional things. But yesterday I was just thinking, I am so grateful that I can walk. I spent 3 years working in a spinal injury unit. So grateful that I can walk. Anyway. Rice is nearly cooked, you guys. I'm just boiling off the water that I added. Okay, that's amazing. Let the last of that water absorb into the rice and I'll heat the curry up again. I've actually got a plate there. I was going to be very sophisticated and eat my curry on a proper plate. Well, you know, a plastic proper plate. But in all honesty, this is far too runny, so I think I'm better off just to add it into one pot and just scoff it down. I'm trying to decide if I can smell fire. In these conditions, I'm not at all concerned. There is somebody camped just around the bend here. Now, sorry, I know it's getting dark and I can see that the camera is losing its light. There's somebody camped just around the corner. They might have a fire going. I'm not sure. I was so tempted. I actually, I bought my axe and my saw because last night I had planned originally to hike up into the valley and camp out and light a fire. Because you've got to be, in some places in New Zealand, you've got to abide by the backcountry fire lighting rules, which means you need to be more than 3 kilometres from any road end, and you need your campfire to be for heating or cooking purposes, which you can't really justify if it's baking hot sun like it was on my first 2 nights. And even if I'd wanted a fire, the places that I was staying, there was no firewood available, no wood at all. But yeah, yesterday after 2 nights out, I just got back to the car and I just could not muster the energy to pack my pack and head back out into the mountains. I just really needed a car camp, and last night was amazing, and I'm so glad that I'm here for 2 nights because this has been so relaxing. Getting up, I think by the time Indi and I actually got out of the car, it was about 10 a.m. and we've just been relaxing. I've been listening to podcasts. I don't know if you guys have listened to, I like Australian podcasts. And I really enjoy podcasts made by Hedley Thomas. Like The Teacher's Pet was an amazing podcast. So he has just done a podcast called Sick to Death. and I've really enjoyed that. So I'm just listening to some of the bonus episodes while I've just been chilling out here. So yeah, anyway, if you're looking for a good podcast, Sick to Death, really good. I really rate that. Now puppy, are you going to stay there? How dry is it on the ground? Oh my gosh, I'm such a pushover. Slash animal lover. Here you go, puppy. It's all yours. It's all yours. If my butt gets wet though, I'm claiming it back. Right, dinner time, you guys. I am going to tuck into this. I'm not going to make you watch me because you're just going to be jealous. And finish my moth wine. What a way to end your life in a Pinot Noir. Finish my wine, have my dinner, and then quite literally I'm just going to pack the last of the things up, bring down the tent or the shelter and head off to bed. So cheers again, thanks for joining us, and see you in the morning for a very early and quick getaway. Sound like I'm escaping. Good morning. Not for me. Woke up this morning, everything beautifully packed into the back, got out, rain tarp down, got dressed for the day, jumped in the car, went to start it, and the battery is flat. This car's second hand, so I'm not the original owner, and I don't know the history of the battery, but I think it might be the original battery in the vehicle. I didn't have anything plugged in overnight. I didn't leave anything on. I drove it yesterday afternoon, you saw me moving it. But for some reason, I think it's just the cold has given the battery a shock and it won't start. So it ticked over once, but subsequent attempts, nothing. So I raced around to see if the people that were camping around the corner were still there, and just as I got there I looked up and I could see them disappearing into the distance, like way in the distance, like a kilometre away. Obviously they had the same idea as me, which is to get out before the rain sets back in again. There's one car in the car park down there at the start of the walking tracks, but I don't know when they're going to get back. Probably, you know, most people finish their walks like early afternoon. It's Easter Sunday. Of all the days to be, it's Easter Sunday. So trying to get somebody to come and help me with a new battery, or to come and jump start the vehicle, to drive all the way in here on a four-wheel drive track on Easter Sunday. My chances are so slim. So I don't have any communication other than text message. I've got satellite phone messaging, and so I've been in contact with my husband, and his suggestion was either that he drive down here with a new battery, assuming he's able to get one on Easter Sunday, but it's a 10-hour round trip. 10 hours without stops. His other suggestion was to use my EcoFlow power unit and this inverter to cut the inverter there, strip those wires back, as long as I can identify positive and negative. Oh, I just shut it, that was a shame. Which I can by looking in there, and see if I can charge the battery. Camping is my comfort zone. Hi pups! Camping is my comfort zone. It's what I enjoy. Cars, engines, no. I've always had good men in my life who've done it for me. So I don't hold up much hope, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. Alright, maximise the length of the cable, cut it right at the inverter end. Sorry, inverter. So looking inside here, I can see there's a black cable going into the centre and a white one going down underneath. The black is the positive then, and the outside is the negative. Okay, so black is positive. Now, what does it say on here? I need my glasses. It's bugger getting old. Alright, what do we got here? Ah, the sandflies. They're all over my face. And I even remember thinking last night, I won't need my insect repellent. Pack that away somewhere. I've got to remember not to stab myself in the face as I try and slap them. I know some of you are going to be looking going, what are you doing? Get on with it. But my fingers are really cold, that's the other thing. That's not helping much. Okay. Woohoo! How do I get this off? Ah! Like that. Okay. Great. It's me. What does he say? That one. Okay. I've circled it. Yay. Okay. Perfect. Thanks. Okay. Good man. Yay. Alright. So. Eek. I'm so scared I'm going to like electrocute myself or something, but I guess I can't because I'm only touching one. Go away, sandflies. Piss off. Honestly. Just give a girl a break. And now for the part where hopefully I don't blow everything up. Scary. I don't think it's drawing any charge. Damn it. Well, this is the pits. It really is. Choosing to go camping in the rain is one thing, but being stuck camping in the rain is another thing. I knew it was a long shot, but you know, I had to try it with the battery. Since then I've been chatting on and off with my husband about a plan, and we're just a bit concerned. Obviously the car won't start, but I had some issues with it with the transmission a few weeks ago and had a whole lot of repairs done. So there's still a chance that it's not actually the battery itself. And if he comes all the way down here with jumper cables or something like that, and it's not the battery, then there's just 2 of us miles from home. So he's contacted the AA, and we're just going to suck it up and have to pay the exorbitant Easter weekend costs for somebody to come out. They're a bit cagey about it because it's down a 4-wheel drive track, and that's fair enough. I thought I heard a car. I'm only about 50 meters away from the road, maybe 100. So if a car does come past, I'm going to run up there and see if they can help me. The biggest lesson I have learned is if I'm going to go off on a four-wheel drive track like this, then I need to make sure that I've got a way to charge my battery if something was to go wrong. This is crazy. I don't know if it's the wind or what it is, but I keep it just sounds I keep hearing these noises that sound like cars, and I keep shooting up here to see if anyone's coming, and they're not. So I've got my coffee and I'm just going to sit here and wait. I've got a coffee and the sun is not completely shining, but there is a little bit of a break in the weather and it's not raining, so I have a lot to be grateful for sitting here in the beautiful Ahuriri Valley. So I began the first of these videos saying that I was here to showcase all the things you can do in this valley. So here you go. You could also get a flat battery and be stuck. What fun. It's like I'm waiting for a friend, like, will somebody come and help me? It's lovely though. Woohoo! My rescuer arrived. AA came. It was just the battery, you guys. Fantastic result. Okay. Right. Goodbye, beautiful valley. I've really enjoyed being here, but I'm so glad to be leaving. Oh. Well, oh well, you win some, you lose some, don't you? It was a shame that this trip ended this way, but at least I'm not staying another night. Thank you guys so much for joining Indi and I. We hope that you guys enjoyed yourselves, even though there was a bit of unanticipated drama. At the risk of sounding like I'm stereotyping, my rescuer from AA was not at all like I imagined they would be. A female turned up in a pink high-vis vest. Her name was Apple, and she was French and probably in her late 20s. She had just got her four-wheel drive on Thursday, so I think she was actually pretty ecstatic to be able to take it out on a four-wheel driving expedition and get paid an exorbitant amount for coming out on Easter Sunday. And you all know who's going to be paying for that, hey? Muggins here. Oh well. When I get home, it's going to be a new battery. So if you guys fancy helping me out with that AA bill or the new battery, I will greatly accept any little donations. Thank you. And thank you so much to all my supporters in general. Thank you to my Buy Me a Coffee and YouTube Super Thanks members and donors. And a big thank you to you guys for watching the whole way through. Indi's already asleep back there. She's looking forward to getting home. We're going to drive 3 hours now to pick my sister and her friend up, and then we're off home. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next adventure, hopefully with a little less drama. Okay, bye.